Okay. Right, this actually is working. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, heavy breathing. Got my mic way too close to my thing. Hi. Is that working? I have no idea. Never done a live broadcast on YouTube before, so I have no idea if this is working, but it seems like somebody's in the chat, so hello. Right, this actually is working. Okay. So that's good. I need to turn down my own mic, because otherwise you're going to get feedback. There we go. The latency seems pretty bad on it, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd like do a test. Maybe look at some links of what's been happening this week. Just to get a feel for things, really. But don't expect this to be very polished because, I don't know, loud and clear, right? Good to know, good to know. But yeah, just switching it up, trying things out. Who are you? I'm Chris Brandrett. There's my Twitter handle there if you want to go follow me on Elon's broadcast network. Yeah. So let's have a look. What have we got here? Kind of Switch Weekly fodder for this week. Let's just open one at random and see what we have. Super entertaining, right? You guys got to get better at talking on cam and stuff. But thanks for dropping in and taking a look all the same. But yeah, Nintendo and DeNA are forming a joint venture company, Nintendo Systems. So DeNA are the company that Nintendo have been working with for the past few years now in regards to their mobile efforts. So DeNA have made things like Pokemon Go. No, not Pokemon Go, that's Niantic. What have they been making with them? Yeah, here we go. Like Miitomo, Mario Kart Tour, Animal Crossing, Pocket Camp, and things like that. They've been working together now for like several years at this point. So it's been a bit hit and miss, I guess, in terms of their mobile stuff. Some of them have made a lot of money, but they haven't really kind of gained much kind of, I guess, cultural prominence is one way of looking at it. Nintendo's mobile efforts are kind of weird because they seem to be, to me at least, something of them hedging a bit prior to the Switch launch of, the Wii U days were bad for them. And just like back in, I don't know, what was it, 2003, 2004, when they announced the DS, and they kind of announced it as this third pillar thing where they basically said that, the DS is just going to be like this complementary thing that goes alongside the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy isn't going anywhere. But of course, in hindsight, that was a load of baloney. It was just them kind of hedging their bets to, if it failed, they kind of could fall back on what they'd had already. And their mobile efforts kind of felt the same kind of coming out of the Wii U era, because the Wii U only sold, what was it, like 12 million units, something like that. They obviously had to start expanding into other areas, which is kind of what they've done with like the movies and the theme parks and stuff like that. Their IP has gone beyond their kind of usual confines, I guess. And the mobile stuff was part of that. And, it's one of those things that they kind of resisted for years. We're not going to do mobile games. But eventually they did. And they did a lot of that with this company here, DeNA. And they are now forming a new joint venture called Nintendo Systems, which is a cool name. It's a subsidiary of the platform holder focused on R&D for digital services. So actually, whether it's going to be about games is to be seen. R&D around digital services, I mean, that could be quite interesting in terms of like where the Switch kind of goes in terms of its online positioning and like its online systems, because at the minute, like Switch Online, it's pretty poor in terms of their like online infrastructure. The actual, the games, they work, it's fine. It's not as good as it could be for sure. But in terms of like the Switch mobile app, that thing is just not great. And if they could have a tighter system and maybe even like some social stuff for the next system, that would be sweet. So it'd be interesting to see what they do here. Yeah, Nintendo's mobile games are weird. I mean, Miitomo, meh. Super Mario Run was interesting, but it wasn't sticky enough. Fire Emblem Heroes is not my sort of bag. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp was fine. Mario Kart Tour is actually okay, I think. Pokemon Masters, I don't really have much experience with. I don't really know much about it. But why have there not been like a WarioWare game on mobile, or even like Nintendogs? Like Nintendogs is just free money, surely, because they can monetize that so easily. Oh, you want this sort of dog? Oh, you want that sort of dog? Oh, you want a Mario hat for your dog? Then cough up, easy. But I guess they don't want to nickel and dime people. I don't know. It's weird. And they shut down Dr. Mario World. Yeah. Anyway, so Nintendo's mobile efforts have been a bit all over the shop, but nonetheless, they are what they are. What else have I got here? Oh, this thing is mental. This is the SNES Manual Archive, or the SNES, whatever you want to say. Here we go. Look, for the last 8 years, I've been on Twitch beating every SNES game and found that there really wasn't a good source for manuals online. So this essentially is like some treasure trove of like all high quality scans of every single NES game, I think. I think there's N64 stuff here as well. Oh, that's pretty huge. So let's find the absolute GOAT. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. What's it link out to? Oh, it's archive.org. That's really cool. Okay. Talk about nostalgia. Check this out. This is cool. What a resource. So yeah, this has like literally every manual you could probably want, and it's not just for the SNES, it's for the N64, Virtual Boy, okay, and that's mental. That's really, really cool. I was just thinking about how like games don't come with manuals anymore, and there's this kind of lost thing of like, it was a good place to kind of show off certain artwork and just like, cool trivia and tips and stuff like that. So I do kind of miss manuals, but in an age of downloads and stuff, it makes sense, I guess. But I did come across somebody on Etsy who was selling, like, they've made their own manuals basically. Let's see if I can find it and share it with you here, because it's pretty cool. I think I've got it here. Look, MBP UK. That's hard to say fast, but they basically made their own game manuals for the Nintendo Switch's kind of like biggest titles, I guess. So there's one here for like Fire Emblem Three Houses, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Super Mario Odyssey, and of course The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I assume you've all completed at this point, so you don't need any manual to tell you how to play it. Kirby and the Forgotten Land as well. Hey Sofa King, I've only just seen your comment. I don't know how long you've been here, but thanks for dropping in. Pokemon Arceus, yeah, these are really, really cool, and they're only like 10 quid, $10, whatever. And yeah, I mean, like this Animal Crossing one here, look, it's got like tips on how to play. I think they're really, really cute, and they make like a good little Christmas present or something for like any super fans of the games. So yeah, that's just an aside, kind of off that manual thing, that all of these manuals are online, and seeing them all here is just like such a nostalgia hit. Like, look, I've been playing Super Mario 64 this week actually on the Switch, so seeing all of these like here is like huge. That's really, really cool. Thanks for the comment on the newsletter there. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. Yeah, I'll be back this week. I took a break last week for boring reasons, but yeah. Let's have a look. What else have I got? I've got a few like video links here for the newsletter this week, but obviously playing those on YouTube is a bit meta, so I won't do that. What's this one here? Oh, okay. Well, this is a game coming out next year, and I just thought it looked kind of cute. This is spoilers for the newsletter, by the way. It's just a cute game about delivering mail. I mean, it looks nice. It's one of those quick links that I'll drop in the newsletter. I love this kind of this rise of wholesome games that we've had over the last few years, and maybe it's, I don't know, it just appeals to me because generally they're quite short, and the shorter the game are, the better for me. I mean, having games that I can actually complete in 3, 4, 5 hours or whatever it is really, really appealing. Yeah, in terms of how I make it, I mean, I spend the week collecting links, and I've got like a note open in the background on my computer here now. I'll collect links throughout the week, and then it's a boring system really, where I will then write a short description for each one, and then I put it into a template which kind of and then I order them around basically, and like, oh, which one I think is more important. Like, I'll drag like a certain review of the top game of the week up to the top of the newsletter. If there's news that I think is like less prominent but still cool, it'll be like a bit lower down. So just play around with the ordering a bit, and then I go and like go through all of the games that are coming out in the next kind of week. And I use a site called Switch Scores for that. There's a guy called Ben who runs this website, and it's really, really useful. It lists all of the games that are coming out on the Switch, and he does a really good job of bringing it all together. Talking of which, this week a game came out for the Switch called Milk Inside a Bag and Milk Outside. I don't even think I said that right. Milk Inside a Bag of Milk and Milk Outside a Bag of Milk. Try saying that 10 times fast. Not easy. So yeah, Ben at Switch Scores helps me get all of the games that are coming out each week. And then I go through each and every one individually, which takes a ton of time, because like 2-3 weeks ago there was like 50 games coming out in 1 week on the Switch, which is insane. So I go through each one and just try and get like a vibe check on each of them, and like write a quick description of each one. And then I'll, as you know, I'll put my like little star emoji next to the ones that I think are just kind of worth checking out, because yeah, it does seem a bit sus, right? Because there's so many of them, I don't expect you to sit and click through each one. So the descriptions are there, and if it takes your interest, then you can click through on that. But the ones that I put a star on, I think ones that I think you should definitely click through and take a closer look at, because they're like the highlights of the week for sure. So yeah, I'll do all the stuff up top, which is like the big reviews or the really cool articles that I found for the week. Put them in the top section. Then we've got the upcoming games, which is probably what takes the most time, just in terms of going through them and kind of getting it's like sticking your finger in the wind and seeing which ones, like, you know, look decent and stuff like that. And then at the bottom of the newsletter, we've got the quick links, which is just kind of like more, not throwaway stuff, but stuff that's a bit more kind of easily described in like a one-liner, you know. So we've got that, and then we've got the deals. So if there is any particularly good deals, I'll share them on the end of the newsletter. And then obviously, like, there's my description as well for the intro. I'll like say hello and like my thoughts for the week, which has been just Bayonetta kind of the last few weeks, you know. Yeah, I have if you're on the Switch Weekly Discord, there is a friends code area on there, and I'll drop mine in there if I haven't already. But yeah, you can ping me on there if you want to add me on the Switch. Let's see what else we've got in terms of stories for this week. Sonic reviews, I want to link to a few of those. There's also reviews for Tactics Ogre Reborn, which I want to take a look at. What have we got here? Tinykin. Right, I've just completed this game. I played it over on Xbox Game Pass, but it's also on the Switch, and I absolutely adored it. It's kind of weird to explain. It's kind of like a mix between like Pikmin and like Banjo-Kazooie, but also had like strong Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibes. I don't know if you remember that game, that movie, sorry. That's like late 80s, early 90s, so depending on how old you are. And it's basically you're just in like a normal house, shrunk down to a tiny size, and you've just got to like just go around and like collect things and do certain tasks and objectives and stuff like that, and it's really, really adorable. This article here from Superjump, which is a great site by the way, digs into kind of the design of it and how it's put together. Really, really good movement. It feels so fluid, this game. I'm really, really enjoying it. Oh yeah, I regularly jump in on Forest Minish's streams on Twitch and say hey, so maybe through there. That's cool. Yeah, this game is definitely worth checking out. If you haven't already, then do try and take a look at it, because it's such a joy. I really enjoyed my time with it. And again, it only took around 6 hours to complete. Like they say, it's a joyful game through and through. Yeah, it's one of my favourite games this year for sure. What else have I got here? Miyamoto believes the Super Mario Brothers movie has solved the challenges with video game movies. It's one of those things, isn't it, that game movies have notoriously been stinkers. I mean, you only have to look at the original Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993 to know that, yeah, getting a movie and a video game right is a tricky job. I mean, there was like the Doom movie with like The Rock in it in like 2000. 4 or something like that. I'm trying to think of other terrible game movies. There's just everything seems to have never really stuck the landing, has it? So Miyamoto is now saying that he thinks he's figured it out. In an interview here, not an interview, he was just talking actually at one of the Nintendo investor things, I believe. Let's have a look. Yeah, from the Q&A ceremony from Nintendo's recent earnings call. So that's cool. So yeah, the movie's out next year. Let's see what he said here. For the Super Mario Bros. Movie, I have been working together with Mr. Chris Meledandri. I'm going to probably said that wrong, sorry. The founder and CEO of Illumination. They're the guys behind the Minions movies. From the start, through 7 years of planning and 6 years of production. That is a long time we've been working on this movie. During that time, we have thought a lot about the appeal of transforming games into films and about what audiences are looking for. Let me just chuck this into reader view. With novels and comics, people have already enjoyed their stories, so I think movie adaptations guarantee a certain amount of enjoyment. But with video games, it is the gaming experience that makes them compelling, so a movie that adheres to the story of a game will not necessarily be interesting. I think I get what he's saying there. He's essentially saying that you've got like a preconceived idea with like novels and comics, but gaming, because it's some more kind of tangible maybe, your played experience may not match one that's a bit more linear with like a comic and a novel maybe. I think that may be what he's trying to say, and trying to get that sense of things on the screen is probably what he's getting at. Yeah, I think the movie looks great so far, to be fair. I was really impressed with the trailer. As for the voice, I think we haven't probably heard enough of it to kind of cast too strong a judgment on it. And although, like, I think the casting choice on Mario itself probably could have been a bit better, generally, I think it's a kid's movie by and large, and it'll be fine. Jack Black sounds amazing. Let's just say that. Bowser, he nailed it. So what's he said here? We spent a significant amount of time trying to figure out how to overcome these challenges. While it's a bit presumptuous to say so myself, I think we managed to get it right. Since around, and then it just goes on talking to them about their IP and stuff. So he doesn't actually say much there around that, but interesting all the less to kind of find that they've been working on this for like 7 years. So no pressure, man. So yeah, I think that's probably about it in terms of like, I've just got a few more reviews maybe to share in the issue this week. Beyond that, I mean, this is the thing that happened. Animal Crossing is now the best-selling game of all time ever in Japan, which is crazy. It's kicked off Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, whatever. That's held that record for what, like 25, 26 years or something like that. So that's a pretty wild record. And yeah, obviously we had loads of Nintendo sales results this week as well, with the Switch now surpassing 114 million units sold. That makes it just past the PS4, I believe, and now I think it's just like the PS2 and is it the DS in front of it? I may be wrong on that, but that sounds about right anyway. So yeah, this is just go shoot. Always all ears for those sort of things, so please do hit me up with any ideas you've got. I think that's probably it in terms of what I've got to share for what I will probably be looking at for this week in the newsletter. Obviously, if you want to keep in touch, then how do I point at this? There. Since the Switch is so old, you could have a small section discussing an old gem people may have missed out on. Yeah, I've often thought about maybe having like a game of the week section where, you know, we highlight something that is, you know, either new or old, to be fair, because there is such a vast choice of games on the Switch now. It's like over 6, maybe even 7,000 games on it. In fact, Switch Scores might even be able to tell me that. How many games have they got in their library? Maybe not. I was just thinking maybe they could show how many games in total there is, but maybe not. I'll take a look off screen because there is a link here that might be able to show me. No, I don't know. Yeah, there's like 7,000 games on the Switch anyway. It's crazy. So yeah, there will be a new issue of Switch Weekly out this Sunday, hopefully, because I transitioned to a new email system, so I'm hoping it all works well. But yeah, this is just my first attempt at maybe doing some streaming. I've not really done it before, so hit like on this if you've watched it, just so the algorithm knows you've actually engaged with my stuff. It's a bit of a struggle, isn't it? But yeah, maybe I'll do more of this. I don't know. It feels a bit weird. I've not done it before, and I have no feedback. Pumpkin Jack, Ys 8. I don't know how to say that. Super Chariot. Yeah, there's so many hidden gems on the Switch. There's one I like called what's it called? I think it's Bomb Chicken. Is that? I've got a review of that here. Let me just take a quick look. Yeah, Bomb Chicken. It came out quite early on the Switch. I mean, yeah, here we go, 2018, and it's like a platformer game where you have to lay bombs to get higher and lower as part of the platforming. And I thought it was really, really good, really, really tight little platformer on the Switch, and it's a game no one talks about. So yeah, there are plenty of games like that. Sofa King, appreciate your comments. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, I have no idea how I'm going to end this because I've not done it before, so I'm sure it's not going to be a very smooth ending, but either way, thanks for watching, and maybe, would you ever have a guest right? Yeah, I've thought about that as well, but just getting the logistics of that in place because of the complicated nature of doing the publishing, it's just one of those things that hasn't happened. But yeah, that's not a bad shout at all. I appreciate the comments. Right, I'm going to switch off now. Thanks very much for watching. Ciao.